My grandson asked me a question last week that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. He's 24, just graduated college, standing at the edge of his life with all these decisions ahead of him. And he said, "Grandpa, if you could go back to my age, what would you do differently?" I'm 80 years old. I've been married twice, buried one wife, raised 3 kids. And I sat there in my kitchen looking at this young man, and I realized almost everything. Not because I had a terrible life, I didn't, but because I spent 60 years making the same mistakes over and over, believing lies that everyone around me was also believing. And by the time I figured out the truth, it was too late to go back. So I told him to sit down, and I'm going to tell you what I told him. Because if even one person hears this and makes a different choice, then maybe all those years I wasted won't be completely wasted. I got married when I was 19 years old. 19. I met Linda when I was 18. She was 17. We thought we were so mature, so ready. Everyone around us was getting married young, so we did too. June of 1963. And here's what nobody tells you when you're that age. You're not done becoming who you are yet. At 19, I thought I knew myself, but I was still changing, still figuring out what I wanted, who I was going to be. And Linda was doing the same thing. We were growing, but we were growing in different directions. By the time I was 30, we were strangers living in the same house. 2 people who'd locked themselves into a promise they'd made when they were kids. We stayed together for 17 years because that's what you did back then. You made a vow, you kept it, even when it was making both of you miserable. When we divorced in 1980, I was 37. I'd spent almost 2 decades in a relationship that neither of us really chose. We'd chosen each other as teenagers. Who we became as adults, those people had never chosen each other at all. My daughter did the same thing, married at 20, divorced by 28. When she told me she was getting divorced, I hugged her and said, "Good. You're still young enough to find out who you actually are." But here's what haunts me. I don't regret loving Linda. I regret that we were both so young we didn't even know what love was supposed to look like. We thought compatibility was just liking the same music. We didn't know that people change. If I could go back, I'd tell myself, wait. Don't marry the first person you fall in love with. Live alone for a while. Date different people. Learn what you actually need in a partner, not what you think you're supposed to want. But I also made another mistake that's even harder to live with. I spent my 20s and 30s working, constantly working, putting in overtime at the factory. I kept telling myself, when I save enough money, then I'll travel. Then I'll do all those things I dream about. I had this idea that you needed money to have adventures. Security first, experience second. So I waited and waited and saved. My second wife, Emma, wanted to backpack through Europe when we first got married. I was 42, she was 38, and I said no. Let's wait until we can afford to do it right. Nice hotels. We'll go when we're 60 and can really enjoy it. You know when we finally went? Last year. I was 79. Emma was 75. She has arthritis so bad she can barely walk 2 blocks. I need a cane. We stayed in nice hotels. And you know what? It wasn't the same. It could never be the same. Because experiences when you're young and broke are better than experiences when you're old and comfortable. When you're young, you can sleep on a train. walk 15 miles in a day. When you're old, you're planning your day around where the nearest bathroom is. There's a moment that changed everything for me. I'm 73. Emma and I are having dinner with our friends Tom and Susan. And Susan says something I'll never forget. You know what I regret most? I never learned to play the piano.
Tom laughs. You're 73. You can still learn. But Susan shakes her head. My hands don't work like they used to. I've got arthritis. Even if I could learn now, I couldn't play the way I wanted when I was 25, when my fingers were nimble, when my brain could absorb new things quickly. And she starts crying right there at the dinner table. My mother offered to pay for lessons when I was 12, again in college, again when I was 30. Every time I said no, I was too busy. I'd do it later. And now it's later, and it's too late. That moment, watching my friend cry over a piano she never learned to play, that's when I started making a list in my head. All the things I said I'd do later. Spanish. I was going to learn Spanish. Bought Rosetta Stone in 2005. Never opened it. Still in the box. Woodworking. I was going to build furniture. Had this whole vision of a workshop. Never happened. Photography. I have a $2,000 camera sitting in a drawer. Used it maybe 10 times. I had time. So much time. But I always told myself there'd be more time later. Later when work slowed down. Later when the kids were grown. Later, later, later. Now I'm 80. My hands shake. My memory fades. And all those things I was going to do later, the window is closed. Not because I'm dying, but because my body and mind aren't capable anymore. We weren't too busy. We were too afraid, too comfortable, too convinced that we had endless time. But here's the hardest thing to admit. The thing that keeps me up at night. I spent 40 years trying to be right, always winning arguments, always needing to prove I was smarter than everyone else, and it cost me everything that mattered. There was a guy, Danny Martinez, younger than me, smart, good ideas. I spent 5 years shooting down everything he suggested, not because his ideas were bad, because I couldn't stand someone else being right when I'd said they were wrong. Danny left in 1998, got a job at another plant, became a VP there, made 3 times what I made, built a whole career somewhere else because I was too proud. But it wasn't just Danny, it was my kids, Emma, friends who stopped calling because every conversation became a debate. My son Michael stopped talking to me about his life when he was 26. When I finally asked why, he said, "Dad, you always have to be right. I can't just tell you about something. You have to correct me. Explain why I'm wrong. I can't just talk to you." That was 2003. I was 60. Hearing my son say he couldn't talk to me, that broke something in me. But even then, it took me 10 more years to change. You know why? Being right felt like survival. If I admitted I was wrong, if I backed down, I felt like I was losing something essential. My pride was so tangled up with my identity, I couldn't separate them. I barely talk to my older son now. Our relationship is cordial, polite, surface level, because I spent 20 years proving I was smarter than him instead of just listening, just being his father. My brother Jim died 3 years ago. We hadn't spoken in 12 years, not since an argument about politics in 2008. I was so convinced I was right that I let 12 years go by without talking to my brother. He died of a heart attack. I found out 2 days later.
Didn't even get to say goodbye. What did being right cost me? 12 years with my brother. For what? To prove a point? So here's what I told my grandson. Here's what I wish someone had told me. Don't marry the first person you fall in love with. You're still becoming who you are. Wait until you know yourself. Wait until you're 30. The person you are at 30 is so much more capable of choosing a partner. Don't wait to travel. Do it now. Do it broke. Do it uncomfortable. The discomfort of being young and broke in a foreign country is better than the comfort of being old and rich anywhere. Your body works now. Your mind is flexible now. Learn that thing you've been putting off. The instrument, the language, the skill. Don't wait. You don't have more time. You just have now. Every year you wait, it gets harder. Let people be wrong. Let yourself be wrong. The need to be right all the time is just fear dressed up as confidence. You know what's actually confident? Being able to say, I don't know, or I was wrong. I spent 60 years trying to win arguments, and I won nothing. The arguments I lost, the times I admitted I was wrong, those are the moments I grew. Those are the relationships that lasted. My grandson asks, Grandpa, do you think it's too late for you to do any of it differently? The easy answer is yes. I'm 80. I can't go back and unmarry Linda at 19. I can't backpack through Europe at 40. I can't learn Spanish when my brain was quick. But here's what I realized sitting there. It's not about going back. It's about what I do with the time I have left. Last month, I apologized to Michael. Really apologized. Not, I'm sorry you felt that way. The kind where you say, I was wrong. I hurt you. I'm sorry. We had lunch last week. Really talked. For the first time in 20 years, we really talked. I'm learning guitar. I know, I'm 80. My fingers don't move like they used to. I'll never be good. But that's not the point. The point is, I'm doing it. I'm not waiting anymore. Emma and I are planning Costa Rica next spring. We'll need wheelchairs in the airport. We'll have to rest every 2 hours. It won't be the adventure it would have been 40 years ago, but it'll be something. Better than sitting here wishing. So if you're young, you don't have as much time as you think. The question my grandson asked changed everything. What would you do differently? Don't wait 60 years to answer that. Answer it today, and then do it. Whatever it is, do it now. Your life is happening right now, not later, now. What are you going to do with it?